Picture this. A colleague walks up to your desk, clearly overwhelmed, complaining bitterly about a failing project timeline, dragging a heavy, dark cloud of stress. If you were a high achiever, your instinct kicks in immediately. You assert control and offer a crisp, step-by-step operational fix to make the problem go away. But instead of breathing a sigh of relief, your colleague looks alienated. They completely shut down. Being aware of someone's troubles does not mean you are obligated to solve them. Hastily jumping in with solutions is rarely what people actually want. We call this cycle the fix-it trap, a systemic habit of absorbing other people's problems as your own. Taking on these heavy data blocks swells your personal workload until you burn out, and as those connections snap, you damage your professional relationships. Breaking this destructive cycle requires a specific skill: learning to politely say no. Mastering this allows you to establish healthy emotional boundaries and project a calm, unshakable presence. To stop falling into the fix-it trap, we have to look at the underlying science of how we communicate under stress. Sociologist Charles Derber identified a conversational pattern called the shift response. Watch how the focus flows here. In a standard shift response, a listener takes the conversation's momentum and selfishly redirects attention to themselves. You must stop this subconscious habit of stealing focus because it severs the connection between you and the speaker. Researchers Kelsey Crowe and Emily McDowell identified a second, more insidious type of shift response, one driven entirely by negative emotions. When someone shares a profound frustration, their negative energy creates deep psychological discomfort in us. We feel those anxious ripples, and we hate it. Because we want that discomfort to end, we start offering hasty, unsolicited advice. We aren't actually trying to help our colleague. We are using a subconscious mechanism to quickly neutralize our own anxiety. Fixing their problem on the spot sends a subtle but damaging message. There is no room for honest emotion in this relationship. By systematically depriving your colleague of genuine social attention, you destroy the potential for a deep, trusting connection. So we need a behavioral pivot to stop shifting the focus and properly handle workplace stress. Enter the support response. This means acting as a sounding board, encouraging the speaker to elaborate without forcing you to absorb their workload. Instead of offering an operational plan, ask an open-ended question. Try something like, what specific part of the project timeline is putting the most pressure on you? Look at how this boundary functions. This question is the ultimate polite no, bouncing ownership back to where it belongs. This gives your colleague space to untangle their thoughts. Often, the solution is already within them. The support response effectively validates their reality, but it does not require you to sacrifice your own time to do it. This brings us to a state of relational grace. You offer your undivided attention without letting someone else's chaos hijack your day. Protecting your personal capacity requires this kind of quiet, natural authority, rather than a frantic urge to solve every problem in the room. Acknowledging a problem does not mean you are responsible for fixing it. But what happens when you are finally ready to take on a mutual project, and you want to do it without causing friction? In the next phase of our curriculum, we will explore the agreement protocol. You will learn how to structure commitments so they sustain themselves long after a meeting ends. See you there.